And here we are on Entomb Valley, and in the upper right-hand corner of the map, we have our red Zerg player from Team SCV Life. It is HyuN. And his opponent down here in the bottom left-hand corner, formerly of Slayers, but looking for a team now, it is the yellow Protos player, Brown. And when I said that the special guest that will be appearing on the Shoemania stream, he's casting Shoemania kind of for fun tonight, his job is not Shoemania.
Yeah, his job is not Shoemania.
So when you look at him, you're like, what is he doing with... No. He's just a very versatile guy and helping out because we need an extra voice in the booth tonight.
He's played shooters, he's played RTS, he's played everything. He's been around. You guys know him. Most people like him.
I will give you a hint as to who he is as well. He is a foreigner who has played in the GSL.
Oh, jam.
Anyway, so it's probably a dead giveaway now.
Yeah,
but
now
anyway.
it is, yeah.
Okay, so pylon up at the front for Brown. No real surprise. The question is, is he going to go for a Nexus first once again, or is he going to opt for a little bit more safe Forge? This is a map where some Zerg players have been toying around with going Hatch first. I wouldn't expect it from HyuN, but I'm bringing it up as a possibility.
Yeah, especially because if you get pylon blocked on this map, the third is infinitely far away for you to get to because of the rocks. It's extremely risky to do so.
Called it!
Oh, wow. Oh, he's actually going for it, but he got caught.
Yeah, he may have to put down a pool now.
Yeah, he did. Wow, I was going to say, that's extremely risky to do, and he saw immediately he couldn't get away with it, so just kind of gave it up. Oh, wow, he actually did force a pylon block out of Brown, though, and he is going to go for the third anyway.
And it looks like Brown is still going to decide to Nexus first.
Now, this is a little bit risky because even though the map is relatively big, the positions are not that far away, and you can just send 6 Zerglings on this map across and get there relatively quickly.
Well, one thing he did that I actually want to point out, though, is that he actually cut it 16 probes. Now, you may think, oh, whatever, it's a probe, but does that make a difference? Saving that 50 resources right there, though, make sure he can get his Forge up in still a reasonable time. You sacrifice a tiny bit of economy because you had the 100 resources here as well, but, you know, it may work out for him in the end. And there we go. Yeah, HyuN is actually making 4 lings right away.
Yeah, so he's made 2 every other time so far except for this. Oh, 6 actually.
Yeah.
So this, I'm not going to say will do damage, it could do damage because that's a very wide wall, no cannon on the way yet, and he might just ignore the pylon and go straight across. Okay, he is going for the pylon though.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's obviously the safer way to go about it. Now he sees how big a hole there was in that base, and he realizes he probably could have actually gotten away with going over there.
It looks like he's just going to start picking away at the destructible rocks for now. So, all right, double gas coming up for Brown. He's putting them both up at the same time, so it's been a bit of a market difference from what he's done some games. I still know what his intention will be here. He's done an awful lot of blocking to kind of throw HyuN, off of his rhythm. Excuse me again, which I do awfully like. And already taking out these destructible rocks. Looks like he's gearing up for a third base.
All right, so the 15-minute no rush is on as we have
that's right,
full wall about to be going up. Yeah. Oh no, there is 1 slot in that wall, so it's not a complete wall.
Right.
But obviously we're going to break down the rocks to eventually do a full wall on one of the sides and then get up to that 3-base very high Protoss economy that Brown has liked to do in all the games so far, and that Protoss in general likes to do on this map.
Okay, well, everything's starting to kind of settle down, looking pretty normal. His 3 bases are well underway for HyuN. Finishes up his natural. His third is almost complete, about 2/3 of the way done. And looks like eventually here, I mean, some Protoss players will actually, at this moment, duck out. They'll come over with a probe, put down a pylon and 3 gateways, and that's their 2nd, 3rd, and 4th gateways, and then put down the 3rd base after that.
Yeah, I expect him to do that. If he doesn't do it, he's still waiting. And actually, I mentioned it, he did not get a fast +1 this game. I didn't even notice because he's done it every other game so far, but no fast +1, no robo, extremely fast third from the looks of it. And there it is. He's going over there with the probe to wall off.
And there we have it, just what I was talking about, making sure that you can save this just a bit as the first Stalker and Zealot make their way out on the map. So, 3rd base will be underway soon. HyuN, he's putting up 2 gas at exactly when he should, so at the 35 drone mark. And after another 5 to 10, he'll decide to put up his layer tech, his Roach Warren, and Evolution Chamber.
Yeah, you don't even really need to see the name up there to know this is HyuN. This is just so his build at this point. And it's such a good build, too. I really want to see other Zerg players, you know, start to emulate HyuN in this way, because I really love how this build works in ZVP.
Okay, well, Gateway's coming underway for Brown, but he is testing the front. HyuN's not biting yet. It looks like he's trying to see how much damage he does with this Lynx before he decides whether he needs to make drones or Zerglings, and it looks like he's confident with the 4 Lings, with the Queen he has, that he'll be able to drive away these Stalkers.
Yeah, +1 might have made a little bit of a difference there on the Zealot, you know, for doing this harass. I'm surprised he didn't, you know, get the +1 if he was planning on doing this the whole time. A few more of those Lynx would be done, and he might have actually been able to get the Queen, but without the +1, he couldn't have killed the Zerglings quite as fast as he needed to. He's going to have to be careful with that Queen, though. He's taking a lot of damage on it.
Yeah, another Queen actually comes down to start helping out. There's enough Lings out that they should be able to start just pushing these away with the amount of damage that they actually have. But these Stalkers have been very well controlled by Brown. And Brown, he's continuing to produce more Gateways back at home. He's full walled off. He's going up in tech. He's got a sentry production underway. So really, he's doing quite an admirable job. HyuN has put up a 4th base.
Oh, and a macro hatch as well at his 3rd.
Yeah, and Brown hasn't picked up on any of these yet.
Yeah. Oh, almost got us around there. Brown is actually not letting his macro go badly, which is, you know, sometimes that can happen if you're distracted with this kind of micro-intensive harass at the front. But doing a good job. He's got Twilight Council getting ready for +2 as more Gateways on the way.
I think he may have gotten a little bit disturbed because he's putting up a 5th base now, and it looks like he's just a bit behind on all of his normal timing. So I think Brown has done a pretty effective job of at least disrupting him. He hasn't done a lot of overt damage, although every Ling that's produced is not another drone.
That's not a drone. And could we look at the drones right now? So yeah, he's at 67, which isn't low by any means, but he would normally be at about 80 by this point. So he's actually forced him to, you know, produce quite a few Lings. And a lot of those Lings aren't even on the field anymore because they've been taken out.
And it looks like this Nexus has just finished up. What's being produced now? No robotics facility, just +2 upgrades and Blink. And we've seen weird things before where players will just try and hit something like a 10 gate or a 12 gate 3 base all in, essentially, off of +2 and Blink. I don't think that's going to be the case from Brown, but
it is possible because he still hasn't gotten Robo, and this is 10 minutes in. So Burrow would kind of, you know, put a snag in this plan, but yeah, he's actually going around, and it looks like he has a read on the fact that HyuN has taken these top bases because he's building pylons up here. He already built one in the very top left, and now he's building another one right next to that 5th base, so he might have figured this out a little bit.
All right, well, he doesn't have any explicit vision of his opponent yet. He's just trying to take the map in. All right, here come a lot of Blink Stalkers. Now it is going to be a total of 10 gates, I believe. Yeah, when all these finish
That
up.
is a really scary force, and HyuN's not ready for this at all. The Infestors just now got started, and all he has is Lings.
So he's going to lose his 4th base. Saving grace for him might be that this 5th base is retained here in the top left if Brown doesn't pick up on that yet. But this is still very, very scary. Now, if one of these drones goes to the wrong side, it does. Does he know?
Oh, does he notice it? Yeah, he has to pick up on this.
All right. Well,
oh, he didn't pick up on it.
I think
there we go.
Yeah,
he's sending the Zealots now, so he definitely knows. So he might lose the 5th, and he might lose the 3rd, too. Oh, pretty good force fields there. There are not enough Lings. Yeah, the drones coming off the line. This is looking really scary for HyuN. The Infestors are out, and they are getting good fungals, but I don't know if there's enough. There's only 2 Infestors in there, and the Lings just can't get in to help.
All right. Well, these Blink Stalkers are doing quite a bit of damage. Looks like this base has been pretty well neutralized up in the top left. Those those Zealots actually now starting to move in with a bit more power, and Brown is going to lose most of the Stalkers that he sent forward, but the damage he's done has been just absolutely crushing.
Yeah, he's actually down in supply, but he's done so much damage that I think he's in fine shape. Yeah, he's killed 16 workers. So I think he actually might be ahead in workers at this point. Very close. Okay, so almost even, yeah. Which is really where you want to be as a Protoss player. And the Lings, oh wow, they haven't even ripped down the rocks yet. And that many +2 Zealots will shred through Lings. It's just going to depend on the fungal growths.
Well, the Fungals do lock down the Stalkers off to the side, so it'll eliminate some of the range DPS at the very least. And these Zealots are eventually going to die, but maybe these reinforcements will be able to do the rest of the damage that he needs.
And it looks like the Infestors are pretty much out of energy. They're having to spew infested Terrans, and while he can't kill the Infestors, it's not going to take him very long to get through the infested Terrans. He doesn't have a Roach Warren, so it's just more and more Lings coming out. And I think with those +2 Zealots, he might actually be able to break through this. It's very, very close right now.
And he did clean up the base at the top left too. So HyuN is now down to just 3 bases. So he's trying to be a little bit over aggressive. And I think, I mean, a little of this is coming back to the harassment that Brown did at the beginning of the game. HyuN let his, maybe he was designing to go for this 5 base build right away. But that's still an awfully aggressive time to do it. So.
Yeah, and now it's just Lings on Zealots, and Zealots are going to win that. The only, thing that HyuN has is the fungals, and he just doesn't have enough energy now. And now Brown has made his way into the third. There's still not very much energy. He's going to lose the queen. There's not much mining going on at the space at all, and that's going to take care of the rest of the drones. More Zealots coming in with +1 armor now. I think this is +3 attack on the Protos is now done. Not looking good for HyuN. HyuN's actually ignoring the army now, and he's going for the pylons. Very, very smart, because he realized he can't fight the army anymore. But I don't even know if he's going to be able to get all the pylons. There's so many over here.
These Zealots are so powerful, and I'm a little bit surprised, I suppose, that Brown didn't put up his charge at all. I mean, it's obviously a very long and very expensive upgrade, but still would have paid quite a few dividends right here on allowing him to catch up to a few of these infestors,
however,
if nothing else.
HyuN is now 2 base, and down a base against a Protoss. That's doomed. Even though supplies are still even, the upgrades favor Brown massively. +2/2 just now finishing for HyuN this second. So maybe this will help him, try to stay in this game. This is still very, very close. Ooh, a lot more infestors just popped out though, and that's going to help clean out this little bit of force.
This has basically been a 10-minute long attack.
Yeah,
is
this
what
is
it's amounted to. So not quite that long, more like 6 or 7 minutes. But during all of this, Brown is actually going up to a Templar Archives. He's got a robotics facility. He's producing a robotics bay.
Yeah.
And +3 weapons has not been started, but +1 armor is just about finished.
Yeah, and so once that tier 3 tech starts to pop out, when HyuN is only on 2 base, whoa, he's actually going up to Hive on 2 base. The desperation time, man.
He's got to. I mean, there's no real, he's got to retake bases right now, and that is a scary army of infestors. That's still 18 infestors.
18. Yeah, I really think Brown is going to want to do something now just before those infestors get up to max energy again, because feedback on a few. I don't know how many of those are actually going to kill. Looks like might have gotten one of them. Yeah, not very many.
Yeah, the units that were killed were, I actually think, the just from sheer unit or from the Zealots that were before. So two infestors have been whittled down altogether, but those infested Terrans just did nothing against that army.
Yeah, the Protoss army is so upgraded at this point, and the Zealots are so tanky that the infested Terrans aren't really doing a whole lot. Yeah, this is going to get canceled. And Brown, now that he has charge, might just come steamrolling through here.
Okay, well, I'm not sure what's going to stand in the way of this army.
So many infestors.
You had a lot of gas built up, I understand, but still, that is a ton of infestors. It's actually up to a total of 21.
Yeah, so if he gets good fungals, he might be able to live here, but he has no meat for these infestors. This has to be pure fungal DPS at this point.
And yeah, there we go. Now the charge lights start making their way forward. The Archon is taking a little bit of damage here, but of course it's so good against anything that's biological. And guess what's biological for a Zerg?
Zerg.
Everything. Yeah, so that's it's a pretty bad spot to find yourself in. And HyuN's trying to hold on.
What Zerg units are biological? Yes.
Yes. that is the correct answer. All of them. All of the Zerg.
Yeah, so Archon's obviously very good. You don't see them use, that offensively this early, generally speaking. It's more of a late game choice. But if you do Archon pushes on 3 base, pretty early into a game, they can be strong. And even though, this seems like it's early, that was such a long fight that we're now at 19 minutes. Right. Both these players are kind of under tech for where they would normally be in this game.
I'm going to be honest, though. Brown's so far ahead right now that he can kind of do whatever he wants. Yeah. Which is really nice for him. You saw he just warped in 10 Stalkers, multiple Zealots, and started producing Colossi with upgrades.
And he's taking 5 bases right now. I didn't even realize that he was expanding that aggressively there. Colossus out, Storm not being researched. Did he research Storm? I actually didn't see that.
I don't think so. Let me check the Templar Archives here. There we go. No.
No, so yeah, those Templar are just for the feedbacks on the infestors, and then Archons. And Archons do so much damage to infested Terrans, to infestors, to Lings, and HyuN isn't even really producing anything but infestors. Oh wow, I actually kind of like what HyuN's doing. He's researching Neural. He realizes he's so far behind The only way he's going to be able to come back is if he just, manages to do something a little bit cheesy. And if he manages to neural enough stuff, he might actually be able to win the next fight.
Right, and that's not, when we said, a little bit cheesy, it's not an insult to HyuN in any way, shape, or form.
All,
he's got
to
do something crazy and kind of over the top, because if he just tries to play conventional and macro
out of this... Yeah, he's just too far behind to get back into it. So he's going to have to do something that Brown is not expecting, and you would definitely not expect, like, 14 neural parasites to come out to take all your Archons and Colossi, and I think that's what he's going to try to do here.
All right, well, Brown, he saw all of this. He has the Observer in position, and his units are shifting back now. So Brown, he's got his army in position. Will HyuN be able to do the damage he needs?
He's going to have to be really careful with these Infestors, too. That's just a waste of Infested Terrans.
Bye-bye. Wow, that was actually just obliteration. Okay, well, HyuN now, he's got a few units left. He's chain funneling the units up at the front, but now with 4 Colossi with range and +3 weapons and +1 armor.
No, this is just a waste of energy. He's not, there's neural too late. He needed to do this at the start. He's taking them, he's taking Stalkers and not Colossi.
I think he just missed.
Yeah, that's, I'm sorry, HyuN, that was not your finest moment. GG goes to Brown, and very well done. He's now back up to 3-2.
Yeah.